It's time for another Boy Green Daily. New York Jets, Houston Texans, battle of the number 2 overall picks at quarterback. They're going exactly the same, right? No, they're not. But we'll talk about it. Jets, Texans, let's roll. Game day.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever done.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
What is poppin', everybody? My name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jet digital reporter for Heavy.com. It's a game day with Woody. James Woody. I almost did a James Bond thing there. I don't know. Whatever fits. But welcome here on a Sunday, December 10th, a little after 7:30 in the morning. And let's bring them here on the program. We almost didn't do the show. I'll explain in a minute. James, good morning. Oh, click, click, click. There we are.
We back, baby. It is Sunday. Not so fun day to be a New York Jets fan.
We almost didn't do this game or show rather because somebody reached out yesterday. A former teammate on my Oswego High School football team slid into the DMs and he went, "Paul, what's up?" And I'm like, first off, why the hell is this guy reaching out? This has been a hot second. I'm like, what's happening here? He's like, "What you doing tomorrow?" I'm like, "It's a Sunday. What the hell do you think I'm doing, pal?" And then he goes, "Let's go to the Jets game." He's a Texans fan. I didn't even know those existed. But he said, "Let's go to the game, baby." And he tried to organize and put all the pieces together, and then it flopped. But I'm like, am I going to just randomly go to MetLife Stadium in the cold-ass wind and rain to see the Jets? Hell yeah, I am. So I was gathering the troops. I was rallying. And then he didn't. I'm like, you know what? Now I still get to do it from Woody and for the lovely confines of my own home. So it was this close. But I went, we're back here at home. So this close?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's life is a thing of margins. Football is a game of margins. Every day a certain decision can just completely alter the whole just instance of life. You can draft someone like CJ Stroud second overall. You can draft somebody like Zach Wilson second overall. You can do a whole lot of things, a whole lot of decisions just in a day or over a course of an entire draft period. And I think you made the right choice here, Boy Green.
Yeah. Wow. That is those are stats right there, Rudy. I'm going to be honest. Wow. 9 fumbles. Jesus.
It's
wow.
And this is a player who's only played 12 years ever in the NFL versus a third-year veteran. I can't even. I don't even know why I put it in quotes because he is a third.
12 games ever, not 12 years. 12 games, right?
12 games. Oh yeah, sorry. I did not.
Yeah, like 12 years. So it's like, yeah, no wonder he has better stats. No, I'm just kidding.
12 games. 12 games versus the 3-year veteran in 10 games. And not even close. Like there is no measurable, no objective way to measure a quarterback where you can say that this 3rd-year veteran is even close.
Well, at interceptions, he's pretty close. Yeah, just more. He's beating him in that category. I see. Yeah.
I mean, if you take that as a rate though, like per game, it's that is not close.
Oh well, I guess that's true. Yeah.
So it's
bad.
From
the rough here, Woody. Putting from the rough.
But my favorite part about this, and when I say favorite, I mean least favorite, is that because Zach has played 3 years as opposed to Stroud's 12 games. If you were to take Zach's career touchdowns, all 3 years, add them up. That's 21.
Oh, so he is beating him. Nice.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, take that, CJ Stroud.
32 season games played, 21 touchdowns to the 12 games it took for CJ Stroud's 20 touchdowns.
Okay, let me ask you this. Based on those terrible statistics you left it under my tree, I don't know what I did to deserve cold this morning, but nonetheless, let me ask you this. Is this CJ Stroud's outlier spectacularness or Zach Wilson's ineptitudeness? Which one is more closer to the truth based on these stats we're seeing, do you believe? Or is it just both?
I mean, I think you know which one I'm gonna say. Allow me to say it for the people in the back. This is Zach Wilson's complete ineptitude. He is a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Purple
He
Drain.
has been
Yeah.
horrible. Now, don't get me wrong. CJ Stroud, he's having a fantastic year. I mean, he leads
the numbers are crazy. Yeah,
in yards per game, right? Like so he's definitely having a remarkably good rookie season. But Zach Wilson is the worst of the. We're talking about this is 3 years in now. Struggled early. People struggle early, but they start picking it up. And Zach Wilson, the scary thing is that Zach Wilson actually has picked it up. Like, this is better than his rookie year, better than his sophomore season.
Yeah, well,
this is where we're at. So it's complete ineptitude, man.
Wow. This is just, again, I think a lot of people have written about it this week that obviously the Jets are looking in the mirror of what could have been, because obviously you have former San Francisco defense coordinator DeMeco Ryans, you have number 2 overall pick, you have the schemes, he brought over a San Francisco guy to run the offense. Like, it is just a mirror, and then they're immediately competing for the playoffs in their initial season, which, by the way, they're in the thick of it, and they need to win this game to continue to be in the thick of it. But it's just yeah. It's tough. It's
7.
tough.
They're 7-5. They could win their division.
Possibly, sure.
It's it's scary. Salah has won 15 games in 2.5 seasons.
15 and 31. Yeah.
Not a great start.
Not a great start to his 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Yep, not ideal. All right, let me just get rid of that graphic. All right, excellent. I'll burn that into my memory. Excellent. You time for your Woody 3, Woody?
Yeah. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. We sure can. Despite the depression that is often caused by that graphic, there's room for hope. There is.
Do tell. Okay. Yeah. Well, so again, if you're just joining us, if you don't join us every week, Woody joins us every game day outside of Mondays. But don't worry, there's no more Monday Night Football games this season for the New York Jets, so no worries there. Woody has safely secured ink, pen, paper for the rest of the season for these game days, including today, which is the Week 14 Woody 3 things he's looking at the Jets Texans game. And Zach Wilson lead the charge. Number 1, QB1, number one in our hearts, baby. What do we got, Woody?
Well, there's no holding Zach, man, because here's the thing.
Okay.
He has been benched, on and off, right? This is kind of, I don't want to say it's the end of the line, but if I'm Zach Wilson, enough is enough, right? The coaching staff, like there's just so many. How many whistleblowers can this team blame for their struggles? And now we know that, Zach, he is not the focal point of the problem. And that is something that, I have said that, Zach's not good. Let's make that, abundantly clear. I just said he was not good when the complete ineptitude, but he has not been put at a position to succeed specifically by this coaching staff. I mean, the stats that are in this, will he throw for 265 yards for the first time? First time? 10 games, first time? Do you know how many times CJ Stroud has done it? I don't even want to tell you. He leads the league in yards, so I don't even want to tell you that. Will he throw for more than two TDs for the first in his career? You're talking about 32 games. He's never done it once. CJ Stroud has already had a 5-touchdown game. Zach Wilson hasn't even had 3 once in 3 years. Sam Darnold did it his first game. His first game, Sam Darnold did it.
Detroit Lions. What a crazy game that was. Monday Night Football. Wow.
Definitely a fun one. I was very excited. And then Joe Douglas gave him Rashad Perriman as his wide receiver 1 and Frank Gore as his running
former
back
first rounder, future Hall of Famer. Yeah, there's some credentials there.
There are. I guess, yeah. Brees isn't currently a current a future Hall of Famer, so we don't know. Yeah, that's true.
TBD.
Yes, for sure, TBD. But we'll see about Zach. One game I really wanted to highlight was last year's Detroit Lions game. It was the only. It was actually a very similar situation. This was Zach coming back from the benching, and Mike LaFleur. God rest his soul, because the Jets killed him, making him the initial whistleblower. I think a lot of people wish that they had LaFleur over Nathaniel Hackett right now.
That's true.
And when they took him out of the benching, LaFleur was like, let's get Zach his absolute best playbook. And for that first half, they were running it. They had him rolling out to the right, rolling out to the left. They were dialing up long shots to Garrett, to Jeff Wilson, CJ Uzoma. As a result, in that first half, he was 8 of 14, 185 yards, and 1 TD for a passer rating of 125.6. Let me tell you, if you were to compare that one half of him playing his brand of football to the 10 games that he's played this year as a 3-year vet, that would be his best passer rating ever in his career.
Wow.
That would be more touchdowns than he's thrown in 5 of the 10 games.
Okay.
He would have more yards. 185 yards is more than 4 games this season. Very close to being more than 5, because he had 186, but that don't count. So 4. And then the completion percentage, which isn't even high, it's 57.
Yeah.
That's still more than 4 games this season.
Wow.
So get the man rolling out. And they can you believe, and this is how I know that Nathaniel Hackett does not care about I think he is tanking on purpose. They had the human statue Tim Boyle rolling out to the right. The statue was trying to run. And not only was he trying to run, he had open receivers, like 3, right? Because they do the high-low reads. Right?
Yeah,
so
right.
He had 3 different options, and he cannot throw. He can't throw on the run. He can't throw on the run. Check his Madden rating. I don't even know if he's in Madden, but if his Madden rating, his throw on the run is literally 0. It's 0. He has none. But Zach can do it. That's something that Zach can do. We've seen it time and time again. So if they can get him rolling out, then there really might be no holding Zach.
Wow. Well, boy, we can only hope. Man, there has been a lot of holding back, Zach. Because when you see what you said, Woody, seeing some of those clips from last week where Garrett Wilson was just beaming open. I mean, beaming. There was at least 3 touchdowns. It would have been 40 plus, 60 plus, and 55 plus of just, if you just see him and it's like backyard football. Pretend the guy's not even there because he wasn't even playing much of defense. Oh.
Yeah. My fantasy team, Walks Their Line, was hurting seeing all these missed opportunities from Garrett. I might miss the playoffs now. It's a sad life.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have to win today. Today I win and I'm in. So it's a tough life.
Wow. I see, by the way, random, I see a bunch of people are saying what's up, like who we had on the post-game show last week, and everybody. Guys, if you guys want to join this show, we'll be doing that live show later today, 2 hours after the final whistle. So there'll be plenty of opportunities and a link for everybody to join who wants to join at that point. So stay tuned. What is that? One for 6:30-ish, something like that. So for people who do want to join the show later, I see Woody's always sliding in the DMs, or the public DMs, like, woohoo, look, I'm always right. Braggadocious bastard, for Pete's sake. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. But for everyone who is volunteering to hop on the show again, that'll be later tonight. Let's call it like 6:30, which is almost 12 hours away, believe it or not. I'm sure we'll be celebrating, popping the bubbly for something. For what? There's more to find out. More to find out here, Woody. All right. Oh boy. From Zach to Stroud and Clear. Do tell, Woody,
Well,
do tell.
Let me say it, Stroud and Clear. The boy is amazing. he is amazing. There's absolutely no argument about it. I mean, he is second he's first in passing yardage in the NFL. I've said it 3 times already. But I promise that'll probably be the last time I say it.
On pace for over 5,000 yards. I mean, that he's going to annihilate the rookie record, which I believe Andrew Luck still holds. That's
I won't lie. To see it without a running game, like his running game has been very
which is surprising, right? It's been Devin Singletary, who, with all due respect, and again, we could say that then say anything, he's mid. And then David Pierce was really good last year, but he's had the Michael Carter-like fall off in his second year. So the running game has been non-existent. And he's got a bunch of looks around the room, scrubs, like these random guys. Nico Collins, the ghost of Tank Dell, like Dalton Schultz. They got a bunch of scrubs there, but it doesn't matter. That's another thing that I really love, is that all the time we talk about the crappy, sometimes historically speaking, there's that one graphic of Jermaine Kearse and these like Clyde Gates, all these random ass people. But like C.J. Stroud, despite it seeming like random ass people, maybe they just needed an opportunity. Maybe that's it, right? But he, high tide rises all boats, that he seemingly has done that with these guys and just lifted the town around him. That's another thing that's like an intangible. I don't think it shows up on the stat sheet. You can see it for some of these guys, but that to me is like, whoa. That's like, man, you get this guy some real cats. Let's see what he's doing. So, man, crazy.
That's the thing that just makes me so upset. I'm telling you, if you guys were to hold my pillow right now, it'd be drenched in tears, because he doesn't have Garrett Wilson out there. He doesn't have Breece Hall, but this is what he is doing. Yeah. And I don't want to talk about the first graphic, but that's like the toughest
part. I burned it. It's okay. I burned it.
Thank you. It cannot hurt us anymore.
Yeah.
But yardage right? You can talk about yardage and be like, oh, well, that's just yards. The rushing game isn't working. Yeah. So they just throw a lot. What can you do? You can try to discredit that, but he has the second best touchdown to interception ratio in the entire league.
Who's better?
20-5.
Who's better in that category?
Who's better? Dak Prescott.
Oh, okay. Obviously, MVP guy. Okay. No, I didn't know that off the top of my head. So that's wow, number 2. That's number 2, and that's not number 2 in rookies, is it? That's number 2 overall.
Better than the only person that is better is Dak Prescott.
That's pretty good category. Just Texas quarterbacks, I guess. We need to get one of those. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
That's just it's a scary thing. I know Brock Purdy is third, but he's the only player to have 20 or more touchdowns that also has 5 or less interceptions. He is that right there. I feel like that tells you what you need to know about CJ Stroud's level, because there's nothing you could say about that. He is scoring touchdowns at a high clip, and then not throwing picks. Like there's no player in the league that has less interceptions with that level of production. Dak himself, who has a better ratio, has 6 picks. He just happens to have more touchdowns. But
wow, so you can throw touchdowns without throwing a lot of interceptions? Those two, it's not like a 1-for-1 trade? Because it feels like every time we score a touchdown, we have to do some sort of turnover ritual animal sacrifice to the gods. Well, you gave us a touchdown, so here, or someone's body, like an injury, and then they do it. So
either an interception or an Achilles tear.
Yeah, it's one or the other. That's like the football gods. We come to the table. Yeah, can we have a touchdown? you know what I'm gonna ask for. Come on, man. I got something else here. You're reaching in your pocket, scrambling for answers. He's like, it's an Achilles or a turnover. Son of a... Take the Achilles, you bastard. We're running out of Achilles here, man.
We are definitely running out. We are running out. And that's just a sad Jets reality.
Yeah.
But the other teams, right? Other teams, they don't need to, lose anything. They can just score, and nothing happens. Everything's good, and that is what CJ Stroud has been doing. But
okay.
For the people rooting for the Jets, I am one of them. Okay, the Jets defense. What do they do to elite quarterbacks? What have they done to Jalen Hurts? What do they do to Patrick Mahomes?
Give him the business. That's what happens.
Yes. I mean, maybe the reason why CJ Stroud has so few interceptions is because he never went against the Jets, the league leader in pressures.
Number one.
Despite being, I think they're still dead last in blitzes. Right?
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, because they don't do it. Yeah.
So we don't know. We might be seeing another one of these, fantastic stout performances from the defense because they rise to the elite. They had Tua throwing, picks, right? Tua is in the MVP conversation, and they had him throwing picks. What's going to happen to CJ Stroud? All these fantastic stats are probably just reasons why Jordan Whitehead about to get 2 interceptions.
Nice.
Like he usually does.
Yeah. I see my dad's mailer saying, hey, what'd they do to Dak in that elite quarterback thing? Here, okay. Every once in a while, it's what we call when we're at the grocery store shrinkage. Okay. That's what we call here. All right. Because you have to account for every once in a while when you're scanning items, that you miss one. And then we have to account for that as loss at the grocery store when I used to work back there. So Dak Prescott was shrinkage. He kind of slipped through the cracks like a little worm. Okay. Like we've been smacking everybody else around. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen in the first game, Patrick Mahomes, all these guys. But Dak just kind of squeaked out. Okay. A little nickel and dime action happening in that game. He took a couple of chunkies, on a couple of broken coverages, but come on. That was an outlier. If we did that, I'd line up again right now. I'd line up again right now and see what happens. Yeah.
At the time, I don't know if anyone was calling Dak elite.
Definitely
Dak was
not.
Still just,
no, he wasn't getting the cred back then. No,
yeah. So. They gotta be loud and proud for the Jets to say, you know what, we're gonna smack this QB down. And CJ Stroud, that's what I'm saying. He's loud, Stroud, and clear.
Yeah,
he is elite. People are shouting from the rooftops. To your point, Boy Green, if they played Dak right now, they probably would smack him a little bit. I think this defense gets up. Gets up. There should be no argument against this defense being able to go toe to toe with any offensive unit on planet Earth.
Yes, including their own.
They can.
Yeah,
offense.
So, but Woody, let me bring this up. Okay, so we've got this Jets-Texans game, but there are some people that aren't necessarily rooting for the Jets to get the dub. As a matter of fact, there were some Jet fans, and I'm going to be accusatory here for a second, that were wearing New England Patriot caps on Thursday Night Football, and they're saying, "Go New England, baby." And then a take it, toot, toot. There's a little bit of that happening over there. And the New England win, while didn't move them in the tankathon standings, they still stand with the number 2 overall pick. They only have one more win than the Jets. When I look at the old calendar, they play the Jets one more time. So there are some people that are rooting for the anti-tank for New England and the tank for themselves. There could be an ulterior motive here, Moody.
I mean, you just said it. You literally broke it down beautifully. Allow me to take that and just say that the organization, like the Jets front office, has truly acted like they don't want to win. They don't want to win. I mean, and we saw QBs go down and teams react. You know, the Browns, I don't even want to say who they brought in, but when they lost Deshaun Watson for the season, they added somebody who, you know, has won a football game in the last year, right? They did that. Actually beat them. The Vikings, right? They lost Kirk Cousins, same injury, brought someone in.
Days later.
The Jets, they lose somebody and they just playing. They playing. The only two people they brought in. It's almost as if, does Joe Douglas know that there are like 80 quarterbacks in the league? Or more than that. There's like 100. There's over 100 quarterbacks in the league. He's only looking at the pool of quarterbacks that he beat last year. He picked up Trevor Siemian. Now he's cutting Tim Boyle. He's picking up Brett Ripien. Just the worst of the worst. Like, how are you finding ways to find quarterbacks worse than Zach Wilson and starting them? And then Nathaniel Hackett, okay, he has Zach Wilson sitting behind one of the league's worst offensive lines and just sitting in the pocket when we've known for 3 years the boy has zero pocket presence. The boy has terrible security issues, and now he leads the league in lost fumbles, right? And then you have the human statue, Tim Boyle. When I saw the plays they were running with Tim Boyle last week, I said, oh, they don't want to win. They are trying to tank. So now I'm trying to. I was scouring the mock drafts trying to find, well, why does this team really try so hard to lose? They got Tim Boyle running. They got Zach Wilson doing what Tim Boyle should have been doing. And then I saw Joe Alt.
Praise to be Alt. Praise to be Alt.
Yes. The tackle. Notre Dame, about to be the first unanimous first-team All-Pro since Quentin Nelson, a man who has been a Pro Bowl lineman 100% of the years that he's been in the NFL.
A former Notre Dame Golden Domer as well.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, the standard of play. Right. If we were to, you know, and I know they're not the same player, but I'm talking about, you know, what Alt is doing is the first sense, right? First sense.
Sure.
And those first 3 years with Quentin Nelson, he was all pro. First team, literally turned that unit was so bad that Andrew Luck literally needed to retire. A dream that he's had his whole life to be in the NFL. He quit in his 20s because the O-line was that bad. And Quentin Nelson came in and turned into one of the best units in all of football. They allowed an extremely old Phillip Rivers to actually make the playoffs one final time.
I remember that.
Very immobile because that line was so good. So is that something that Joe Alt can do for this offensive line that has been so terrible for so long? Can he just, a high tide raises all boats? Boy Green just said it 5 minutes ago. Now I'm giving it right back to you. Here it is. Joe Alt. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? We're tanking for Alt? Because if that's the case, I'm Alt about it.
Well, I mean, the way they're losing right now, they have lost 5 games in a row. As you noted in your little nugget here, that a 6th straight loss would help them with Joe Alt. They keep pairing a couple of these losses together. We might be talking about different players available for the New York Jets. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr., perhaps. You know, I'm not sure we could get into this when we get into potentially if Woody extends his contract into the offseason. His people are talking to my people. But if we're doing offseason conversations, there are some that are advocating for quarterbacks. I'm not quite there yet, to be honest with you. I'd prefer a thing that helps now with Aaron Rodgers, like, again, Marvin Harrison. Joe Alt could be a Fashanu at a Penn State as another possibility. Those are the interesting, juicy conversations to me. But again, with the Patriots winning, again, I'm rooting for the Jets to win. And this is how I evaluate it as a fan. And you guys can do whatever the hell you want on your own. I don't tell fans how to fan. I'm going to be rooting like hell for the Jets to beat the Texans today, and I'm going to be hoping for it. I'm going to be praying for it. Again, praise the Lord. That's what I'll be doing here on God's day. But in the case that they do not pull off the dub, it will be 6 straight L's, and I will rationalize it to myself after the game, after I'm pissed, and say, God, son of a, what, and throwing things. I will be like, well, he's got a better pick. And then that's how I rationalize it on a week-to-week basis. And there is a chance that the Jets get one of these guys you talk about, Alt, Marvin Harrison, teaming him up with Garrett Wilson. I could just imagine him gapping it up and giving a little, giving some of that action. I can just see it. It's sexy. Rodgers going, who should I throw to? Harrison Jr., Garrett Wilson. I'll throw it to both. You know, like just, man, spectacular. Or offensive line, which obviously they desperately need. So you know what? No matter which way they potentially go, you know, that sounds nice. That sounds nice.
We are definitely in lockstep in our resistance to our drive sitting a quarterback that early. I would not do it. I already think Will McDonald is a walking, breathing representation of the wrong pick being made for what this team needed.
I still think he could be good. I've seen a little pops from old Willie.
I mean, we're talking Rodgers. It's a limited window. It's a limited window of time, and I'm not. You know, I did not say that to attack the man of Will.
Of course,
Will McDonald or the career, but I'm saying what the team. I'm not loving it. I was not loving the pick. I didn't love it then. I'm still not loving it.
Oh Lord, hey now.
Because it's a rotational piece. What are we doing? We could have had.
How many snaps did he play? I want to double check that right now. Okay, wait. So I'm gonna look this up, and I want you, because I'm assuming you don't know this off the top of your head. How many percentage of the snaps do you believe Will McDonald has played this year for the defense?
The percentage? I'm gonna have to go with 10.
He has played 16% of the snaps, according to Pro Football Reference. That is pretty close. And again, that's your first round pick. 15th overall has played, again, according to Pro Football Reference, 16% of the snaps this year. Well, he's played 33% of the special team snaps. So, core piece. I love investing first round picks on special teams. I respect it.
Yes.
Zag when other people are zigging. That's how I feel. Yeah.
It was, we zagging straight to that top 5 pick. So that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So, Will he was not the best for this current win now mantra, and that cannot happen again. You cannot draft, Drake May. You cannot draft any person that plays quarterback. You need a lineman. Marvin Harrison. That would be nice. That'd be nice.
Don't you dare. Don't be like, well, that would be nice. That would be nice. It's not like I got socks under my Christmas, present. Okay. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. No. It's like you just got keys and they're like, go outside, son. And there's a Ferrari sitting there. I'm like, wow, mamacita. Mom, I'm only 6, but great. See, that's what we're talking
about. None
of
that will matter. You can have all the nice, all the car keys you want. Okay, but if somebody takes your license away to drive, aka somebody puts you on your back because there's no protection, then that won't matter. So they need to make sure that our guy, Aaron Rodgers, can stand upright. That should be priority number 1. Joe Douglas has had 4 off seasons to rebuild this offensive line, and I promise you, my son, he is 2 years old, is better at building anything you ask him to build in Legos than Joe Douglas is at building an offensive line.
Wow.
Anything.
Ooh.
Anything.
Well, maybe it's just confidence in your own kid. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just confidence in your own kid.
Hey, guys, my Twitter peeps, I might have to start posting some photos of some of these Lego hotels looking better than this offensive line. Okay. There are no blocks that are missing 38 possible games. I'm not calling it anybody else.
Okay, that's come on, man. So we will see. So again, I think we're in the same boat as it pertains to quarterback, and maybe when we see where these pieces finally lay at draft time, right? Because we got all these games left to play for the Jets, so who knows where that pick will ultimately finalize. But if they do have a top 2 pick, I think it'll be interesting debate points. Again, me and you seem to be on the same page, but interesting debate points as we have people on the show of what they believe they should do with said pick. But let's put that aside, Woody, because we got a game today. Jets, Texans. Woody, you sprinkled a little bit of maybe. So I'm not really sure where you're leaning here. So Jets, Texans, 1:00. I shared the highlights on Twitter of the game from 13 years ago, where the Jets had a big lead against the Texans, and we're like, oh, this is going to be great. Texans roar back, take the lead, and the Jets fans are like, no, not again. We can't blow this. And then all of a sudden, little Mark Sanchez to Braylon Edwards down the right hash, bang! And then the Santonio Holmes X route where the receiver goes this way, other receiver goes this way, wide open. Mark Sanchez pat the ball, little soft touch. Santonio back in the end zone, all of a sudden, touchdown! The Jets take it, and then just the shots of the Texans players like on the sideline, and then Texan fans. And Jeff Richards, yeah! Bow, 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 bow! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. I want a little bit of that action today. Maybe not that level of drama. I don't know if my heart can take that, but some of that action. Zach Wilson, back in the end zone. What receivers do we have? Garrett Wilson, yeah! Or whoever the hell else is. No, Jason Brownlee, he's out today. Yeah, Xavier Gibson, hit the X, booyah! Ah! A little bit of that action. So, what do we get? Prediction time. What we got?
That is all very fantastical stuff there, right there.
Yeah.
Because that's not happening today. I'll tell you that real
come
quick.
On
are
now.
you
Come
serious?
on now.
Are you serious? Yeah, there's maybe because I'm trying to we got people that watch this and these people have hope. I don't want to say there's no hope because there is. There's a chance. There's a chance. But if we're talking about likely scenarios, of course the Texans will be laying the smackdown. They are better, like you just said, like the mirror, right? The 49ers, bringing, DC, bringing in that Shanahan, guy, drafting a quarterback, second overall. They've done all of those better than the Jets. So anyway, 20-10. I do believe there will be one drive, probably two, but I'm sure about one where Jets fans will then DM me and be like, that is proof that Zach Wilson is not terrible, even though he is terrible. Like it is inarguable. They still find ways to argue, and they will be like, "This drive, did you see this drive, Woody? Okay, he's good, man. He's good, man. Like did you see this drive?" And I do think it will result in a touchdown. I don't know if he will throw it or if Brees will run it in like he always does. Maybe both, right? Because we've seen that happen a couple times. But outside of that, it's going to be more of the same, missed opportunities, could be penalties. And I don't think that Nathaniel Hackett will take the advice that I've said on this show and, of course, in the articles on the Jet Press leading up to this, where he should take that LaFleur game plan from Detroit. Because that's actually been the biggest problem with their handling of Zach. They've been so worried about his confidence that they never really actually let him build any. They really just take it away. And once Zach threw the interception in that Lions game, the reason why I can't say the whole game, I only have to say the first half, is because he opened up the second half with an interception. And then they stopped. They stopped rolling him out, and they just kept throwing him screens. And we know last year he was having difficulty throwing.
But come on, that was beautiful. That Lions game, the roll out to the left. It was the pro day throw, and he just unloads it to CJ Uzomah. Bang! 40-yard touchdown. It's like, we haven't had many of those this year, at least lately.
None, like literally none. We had Tim Boyle trying it, and
I'm gonna be honest. I have to apologize. I said, let him boil. Well, he boiled over, and then this pot's done.
I tried to tell you.
You did. I tried to believe.
That's what I got. Because I'm just trying to tell you.
Yeah,
I'm here for you, boy Green, and everybody that watches the show, that listens to the show. James Woodyology is for you. It's rational thinking. It's rational. I've seen in the comments people talking about emotions. Jet fans are so emotional and all that stuff. The Woody 3 is an emotionless take. It's an emotionless. It is just rationality.
I like that word. That doesn't get enough play. So what is your official prediction, sir?
20-10. Houston Texans. 6 straight losses. Joe Alt. Don't make me sing again.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm ready.
I'm going a different direction, Woody. Believe it or not. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. If we're looking in the mirror and the Texans are what the Jets could have been, and the Jets are like the Christmas future if the Texans made the wrong choice. That's where they could end up. I say this Jets defense, which is the same as the Texans defense, which is all 49er principles. That means, because I just looked this up, I wrote this Jeff Ulbrich article. Apparently, he's garnering buzz as a head coaching candidate this offseason. And I couldn't help but look at 2021 when he was finishing last in all of the major defensive categories, and people wanted him fired. There was I didn't have to look very hard. I went Google Jeff Ulbrich should be fired. Boop. A million articles popped up from 2021 where they're like, get this dumbass out of here, remove him, all this stuff. And then obviously the next year he turns him into a top 5 unit in all those same categories. So I was looking him up and went, wow. So the defense started here and eventually jumped here. The Texans are in the first year. They're here. The Jets defense is here. If we're talking Woodyology, we have Woody Professor up here, just dumbass boy green down here. So dumbass boy green down here is where the Texans are. Okay. They've had a couple of pops, Will Anderson, and okay, every blind squirrel can find a nut, but they ain't at this level of Woodyology. They ain't at this level of the Jets defense. They say, oh, we saw this in practice. You ain't seen this in practice, kid. You ain't seen this in practice. So I think that advancement of the knowledge and the Woodyology will help the Jets defense crush CJ Stroud like a little bug and hold them to minimum offensive scoring. 20 points. In what universe, pal? Okay, so let's get that point total a little lower for the Houston Texans. For the New York Jets, on the other hand, have you heard? Pissed off Zach Wilson? Let him rip. Zach Wilson, okay? Some of these words are floating around as I do use quotation marks for our audio-only listeners. Sounds like Zach Wilson's about to Beyblade. Let it rip! That's what's about to be happening here. So I have the Jets winning this game against the Houston Texans 24-6 is what I have.
There's no way. There's no way you believe that
24.
There's just no way.
Yes.
No, I don't even want to say.
And the playoff run starts today.
The playoff run. Where are they running?
24-6. This rookie quarterback is going to be
playoff. Don't make me.
Here's the thing: we all know this is Jet fans. This is all know. We have two paths, right? The Jets win, playoffs. They lose, tank. So that's it. We're at a fork in the road. One road this way.
That was like 3 weeks ago. The fork in the road was 3 weeks ago. There's
a new fork in the road. We're going down a path. We're going an RPG game. Path. Fork in the road. Playoffs. Tank. Playoffs. Tank. Go to the playoffs. If we lose, all right, let's back up the train. We went down the wrong road. Okay, back down this way. That's it.
That was the Black Friday game. We've already been there.
Hey, forget that. That's in the past. We're a futuristic organization. Futuristic.
Is that true?
Future. That's what's happening here. You got to believe, Woody. You got to believe. Have a little belief. When you have your breakfast every morning, if you had a little belief juice, okay? A little Slurpee.
We believe in two different things. I believe in Joe Alt. I believe Joe Alt literally rise. I truly believe he is our Irish DeBrickashaw Ferguson, and he will just he will just elevate this offensive line. He will protect Aaron. All right, he will allow Aaron to play for as many years as he likes, right? So that people will be mad, right? There are some people that will be mad. Oh, we didn't draft this QB. It won't matter if Aaron Rodgers is healthy for however many years he wants, and Joe Alt
got to protect him.
All
right, let me ask you one more question to finish this up here. Where do you believe the Jets have to finish to be in Joe Alt range? Because if we're being honest, and I haven't dove into the draft, I'm a big draft geek, but I haven't touched it yet. But there's the two quarterbacks everyone talks about, so you probably assume those are going somewhere in the top picks. You have Marvin Harrison; he's probably going up there. And then all of a sudden you have these offensive linemen. People seem to like, some people like Alt more than Fashanu, some people like Fashanu more than Alt, wherever you stand. So what I just said is 5-ish players, and I haven't talked about other positions yet. So is that it? Is it top 5 where you have to be to ensure the Alt?
I think he can be acquired anywhere from 4 to maybe even like as low as 8, because there are other there are other teams.
Okay. Yeah, maybe other quarterbacks jump up. Jaden
So yeah,
Daniels.
so it
Okay.
completely depends on who is in front, right? Like
That's the most likely thing for the Jets, by the way. I love looking at the ESPN, like, hey, your odds of this pick are blah, your odds of this pick are blah, your odds of this pick are blah. The most likely thing, according to those analytics, are the Jets will finish somewhere between like 5 and 8. So to your point, because again, they're already 4 and 8. So outside of winning out and going to 9 and 8, right? Like your reality of the analytics are this window. And if that window is true, then outside of something wild, they should forever be in the alt range. But obviously, as you said, more losses put you in obviously prime position. But we'll see. We'll see. But hey, you know what, Woody? These will be some more off-season conversations because we're going to have to get ready for the playoff shows. We're going to have to get ready for those.
I'm gonna be on vacation because I don't like watching the playoffs when there's no green,
Wow.
in the bracket. And I promise you, there is no the only green is my soul. I'm green with envy watching all these competent teams run organizations while the Jets just continue to make wrong decision after wrong decision. I've truly never seen a group of people make so many wrong decisions back to back to back. Never seen it.
That changes today. They made the right decision going back to Zach Wilson, the redemption tour. Okay. I'm fired up. Brian Baldinger had a nice message. He retweeted it. I sent out a little clip. He was on their Jets game day show. He normally is. And he said, my message to Zach is make it memorable. Your 32nd start or 33rd start, whatever it is. Make it memorable. Let it rip. Go, young man. You've got nothing to lose. And that's the damn truth. Although, we'll probably do a separate video about this. Rich Cimini, in his column this morning, believes the Jets, according to an NFL personnel executive he spoke to, will fetch at least a 5th-round pick for Zach Wilson this offseason, which I went, whoa, that's a little richer than I thought. But okay, maybe people believe the Zach Wilson talent, and they're like, Geno Smith again? Maybe. Who knows? So could be interesting. Woody, I will hopefully you're sliding in on the comments for the post-game celebration, the post-game party. You're officially invited later today.
To the what are we celebrating Joe Alt? So I bring like a Notre Dame hat or something,
Yeah, maybe the Jets can stay. I have Notre Dame gear here, so maybe I will dress up in that if they lose. I will go, well, let's go. Praise to be Alt. Maybe I will do that after the L. That's possible. That's possible.
Yes. So I will do my best.
Great.
They, please do not be, too disappointed. Like I said, there's gonna be a drive. There's gonna be a drive. It could be the first drive, but
Oh my God, if it's the first drive, because the Jets are one of I think it's only 5 or 6 teams that haven't scored a touchdown in the opening drive. If that happens, I'm gonna lose my friggin' bananas. If it just looks great. It's like those scripted Adam Gase drives. He always sucked after the first drive, but the first drive was masterful.
Perfect. It was. I think it was like 9 or 10 straight games. Like they had the longest streak. They had the longest streak.
And then it all fell apart when the game started. So if Hackett, which by the way doesn't make sense, how do you suck at the opening script? That seems to be the easiest thing. All week you're pressing the same 10 to 15 plays for the game. Like and you can cherry pick and make them whatever you want. You're the coach. I mean, outside of like awkward situations, right? You try to take a kickoff from the end zone, you fall at the 2-yard line or something. Obviously your plays have to change dramatically, but outside of those scenarios, which have not happened for the Jets on opening drives for the most part. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It should be interesting, though. Should be interesting.
NY Jets FL, you need to calm down. The wins better be fine because my team, Walk Zerline, needs the wins to be perfectly fine. I need Zerline to pick it up, man, because he actually hasn't been slacking. It's a team that really hasn't been getting into kicking range, or Boyle, Simeon, we should have known. All right, I did know, but no one wanted to listen to me. So with Zach back, that actually doesn't impact what I'm trying to say at all. It's actually the defense. If the defense can shut down CJ Stroud, get a couple of interceptions, return it to like the 30-yard line, so that when Zach goes 3 and out, Zerline can kick that that 50-yarder. Sorry. That's what we're gonna need. That's what we're gonna need. So
okay, we'll see.
Yeah, Walk Zerline.
Right. Woody, thanks for the show. The longest show in Boy Green Daily history. Boom.
Hey, Hey, time flies when you're having fun. I hope all you guys had fun. Boy Green, you know I had fun. This is the most fun I'm going to have all day because I don't like watching the Jets lose. So it's not going to be fun to be had later in the day. So this is the highlight. Take it all in. Take a deep breath. Boy Green, everybody watching, everybody listening, take a deep breath. This was it.
Wow.
Highlight of the day.
Well, hopefully not. We do have a live show coming later, whether win, loss,
true.
or different. That's okay.
That's the next highlight. That's the next
okay,
highlight.
Woody. We appreciate that. We'll hopefully make it just as good as the Boy Green Daily Show. Again, that'll be 2 hours after the final whistle. So expect, outside of the longest game in NFL history, somewhere in the ballpark at 6:30ish. We'll be live on the Heavy on Jets page and all these other channels as well, YouTube.com and Twitter. So guys, feel free to join us for either venting, reacting, celebrating. Who knows what could be happening on that program. We appreciate you, everybody. Woody will be back, of course, next Sunday. That is the Dolphins are coming up next, so we'll have them as well. We just booked the rest of the week as well. So fun guests coming for Boy Green Daily. So we'll see you in a couple hours. So Woody, enjoy the game, pal.
You too.
All right, there you go. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care in a couple hours for the post-game live show. Thanks, everybody.